So when I was a kid, I was the hide-and-seek champion. All my friends would come over and we'd play hide-and-seek and no one could ever find me. They'd always yell, "We give up," and I'd pop out of my hiding spot, the champion. But then, this one kid showed up, his name was Hide-and-Seek Zeke. See, Zeke, he could hide in places no other human being could possibly fit in. It's like he had no bones, he could just slither into hiding spots like a snake. There was this one time, I was looking for Zeke for an entire 24 hours and I finally gave up. And Zeke jumped out of a f***ing toaster. I know that sounds physically impossible, but it's true. I don't know how the f*** he did it. And when it was Zeke's turn to seek, he would find everyone in seconds. Just gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Zeke was the new hide-and-seek champion. So this one time, Zeke was seeking, and I ran out of my house, hopped on a train to Boston, stowed away on a steamboat to London, changed my name to London Guy, got plastic surgery to change my entire face, and still, Zeke found me. I was so pissed. So I decided to hide cameras in my house, and we played hide-and-seek again, and I saw Zeke hide in a box of Fruit Loops. So I lit my house on fire and I ran out. So you remember the story about my nemesis in high school, Billy Bowling Hands, who lost his hands in a train accident, replaced them with bowling balls. He was really good at bowling. I challenged him to a swimming race. He drowned. You know the story. Well, Billy had a younger brother named Bobby Bowling Hands. I had a woodshop class with him, and he was so sad about his brother Billy dying that while we were cutting wood for a wooden race car project, he cut his hands off and replaced them with bowling balls like his brother. Ironically, he wasn't as good at bowling. He wanted to avenge his brother's death by getting payback on me, so he asked me if he could wash my car to save up cash for his brother's funeral. So I felt bad for him and I told him yes, but washing a car with bowling ball hands went about as well as you'd expect. He dented my car all over and smashed the windshield. I was so mad, I just knew he did it on purpose. Then, at prom, I was with my hot date, and I asked Bobby if he would get me a glass of punch. So he tried to grab the ladle to pour some punch into the cup, but his bowling ball hand smashed the bowl and made the punch spill all over my date and my rented white suit. It was so embarrassing. I just know Bobby did it on purpose. So when I was in high school, I was dating this girl named Lisa Lugo. She was gorgeous. I was in love with her. She was my soulmate. She loved building Legos, and I would go over to her house all the time to build Legos with her. So for her birthday, I went out and bought her a really cool Lego set, and I showed up to class to give it to her. Then the teacher announced to the class that there was a new student, and his name was Lester Lego, the son of the founder of Legos. He saw my girlfriend had balloons, and he went up to her and pulled out a bouquet of Lego flowers. Right then and there, they started making out. I fell to my knees crying, holding out the Lego set I'd bought her. She laughed at me, and her and Lester jumped into a Lego helicopter and took off into the Lego sunset. I heard they got married, and she only had to change one letter in her last name. So when I was in high school, there was this guy named Mad Eyes McGee whose eyes were always mad. Everyone in school always wondered why his eyes were so mad. No matter what he did, he was mad. We went to the water park. Mad. We got ice cream. Mad. He got all A's on his report card. Mad. He met the Pope. Mad. Won the Sweet Life with Zach and Cody Go-Gurt cruise and met Zach and Cody and Mr. Mosby. Mad. Found out in 1991 Mr. Mosby killed someone in a DUI accident because his blood alcohol content was 3 times the legal limit and he was sentenced to 5 years in jail but got out and won because he was good at acting. That's true, look it up. But that made him mad. He asked a girl out and she said yes. Mad. He won prom king. Mad. He won the high school football championship. Mad. For his 16th birthday, his parents got him a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon and guess what? Mad. Nothing seemed to make this dude happy. And I just couldn't take it anymore. So one day I asked him, Mad Eyes McGee, why are you so mad? And it turned out he had a stick up his ass. Not like the saying either. I mean like an actual stick up his ass, just stuck up there. So he wouldn't let anyone take it out, so me and my friends got an idea. We decided to play tug of war and I stood behind him, and when it was time to pull, I didn't pull the rope, I pulled the stick out of his ass. But when it came out, it ruptured his colon and he had to get a colostomy bag. Then he was really Mad Eyes McGee. So in high school, there was this kid named Gary, and he loved to eat glue. Every time you looked at him, he was squeezing a bottle of Elmer's glue in his mouth. For lunch, he'd bring a lunchbox full of glue. Nothing but glue. And he'd eat it. Bro was constantly in the bathroom, constipated from all the glue in his ass. Everybody would point at him and say, glue eater, glue ass. But he loved it. He didn't care what anyone thought of him. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I asked him to go to Applebee's with me, and I ordered the mozzarella sticks. But he brought glue sticks, and he just chomped on them. But we became good friends. But he died the way you'd expect someone who ate glue would die. a skydiving accident. You see, we had a senior skydiving trip at my school, and you had to pick a partner and pack your own stuff, and he said, don't forget the parachutes, but I thought he said pair of shoes, so when he jumped out of the plane and he went to deploy his parachute, a pair of Nike Air Jordans came out and he hit the ground and died. I was so confused because they were Air Jordans, but I guess that didn't matter. So I didn't jump out after I saw what happened. But his tombstone was the shape of a bottle of glue. Elmer's paid for all the funeral costs.